Welcome back to Horrible Summary, and today I'm going to go over heroic challenges from Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. I don't think people have done in-depth coverage on this topic before, so I could be the first. At least on YouTube. In the first two games, you can increase your Skylanders stats by doing heroic challenges. You can get heroic challenges by clicking the ownership button in your Skylanders stats. And because I have all 32 Skylanders from the first game, I can access all 32 heroic challenges. I'm going to do my best to explain why a certain character has a challenge or how it ties into their lore. And for some of them, I can explain why it increases a certain stat. There's a lot of these, so I don't want to waste any more time. One, Chompy Chomp Down. A very simple start to these, even though I doubt Warnado is anyone's first Skylander. But yeah, you mostly just kill 100 enemies. It's a really easy challenge, especially with an agile character like Warnado. All of these challenges have different timers. I hadn't really kept track with how much time there is on each one, so... Oh yeah, the map is based on Molten Mines. Even though it's a common setting for heroic challenges, it doesn't really fit Warnado. I don't think an underground area fits a guy who has tornado powers that well. I feel like the Leviathan Lagoon stage would have fit better. In general, this challenge doesn't really match Warnado that well. For the most part, it's just a simplistic challenge. 2, this bomb's for you. This is the first of many heroic challenges where you have to collect some bullshit. Sometimes there's one MacGuffin, or there could be a handful, or there's a shit ton of them. This one's just a handful. This is the first heroic challenge set in Cadaver's Crypt. Just like Molten Mine, it's another level that sucks ass in this game, and it was turned into a cool little location for heroic challenges. Don't worry, I like the levels the other two locations are based on. Oh yeah, Ghost Roaster is like Thanos here. He wants the singing gems so he can start a universal conquest or something. That's the real lore reason for why he has this challenge. 3, Jump for It. This really does feel like the Wrecking Ball heroic challenge to me. It's such a playful and innocent heroic challenge. If you want to do that quest in Skylanders Giants called Heroic Challenger, do this one. This one literally has no enemies in it. You still have to get 75 charms, but it's not that hard. Especially if you find that key and open up that one door. 4, Where Art Thou Paintings. If Spyro's Adventure was your first game, this might be one of the first heroic challenges you did. I don't know, I started with Giants. In this challenge, you have to save the souls of the damned who are trapped in paintings. I'm just going to assume that this has nothing to do with the original Spyro games, but it kind of reminds me of Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, mainly because the villain in that game trapped people in paintings. Also, this is one of those challenges with zombies in it, so it's harder when you're not playing a Spyro or a fire character. So much for enemies not having as much HP as they usually do in heroic challenges. 5, Lair of the Giant Spiders. This is probably the one I think about the most when thinking about heroic challenges. I like how this challenge takes its character's gimmick and kind of does something with it. Prism Break breaks prisms. I really hate how the crystals look when they're about to break in the XPEC version. The crystals just turn half of your screen white and you can't see anything. This also might be one of the strangest settings for a heroic challenge. It's supposed to be Molten Mine, but it feels nothing like it. Maybe the camera angle's different, but it just feels like a completely different area, which is honestly refreshing. 6, Fight, Teleport, Fight Some More. This one has absolutely nothing to do with Lightning Rod. The premise doesn't fit, neither does the stage. Hell, not even the elemental boost at the end does either. Why am I getting armor out of this? It would make way more sense to get elemental power because he's Zeus! I did not record the entirety of the first 6 challenges, so believe me when I say it, I beat this one on the last second. I wish I recorded it, but just trust me, I did. Moral of the story, record the entire thing, which is what I did with the rest of these. And I still have no idea what a tribal mask has to do with lightning rod. 7. The 3 teleporters. I know this one also has teleport in its name, but it's not like lightning rods. In this one, you just teleport around, lowering some gates. And after all that, you get a really weird MacGuffin. The Golden Spork. But honestly, I think there's something more interesting in this dungeon. Not only is there one enemy that you cannot find in the main game, there's 2! Mini Knights are enemies that only appear in heroic challenges. They have 1 HP and a really weird looking death animation. And from what I could tell, their designs were reused as Inhuman Shields and Skylanders Giants. But the other unique enemy is way more obscure. The Skylanders wiki calls them mini spiders. This type of enemy is only seen in this specific challenge, and also it's the spider that scares T-Bone away in Crawling Catacombs. In the X-Pack version, it's not in the Wii version. Besides all that, this is a pretty good heroic challenge that also fits the character. 8. Stop! Sheep thieves! This one really feels like a Dino Rang one. It also plays into Dino Rang's gimmicks pretty well. The Hob and Yarrow enemies are pretty weak to trap moves, and you also have that extended boomerang attack. Other than that, it's a pretty fitting one for Dino Rang. 9. Mining for charms. Okay, so Bash, he's an earth element, and right now he's in a mine, and your mission is to break the rocks, so you can find where the bullshit charms are. And I'm pretty sure the placements are random every time. And obviously, this one's way easier if you're using an earth element. Not sure why there's so many undead-themed enemies, but whatever. 10. Dungeness Creeps! There's a bunch of charms, but you have to open all these gates, and you have to fight enemies before you can get to them. And there's a bunch of different chompy types, which, I mean, who cares? To this day, I still don't know why there's multiple versions of Chompies. Like, what the hell are the black and red Chompies? As a kid, I used to think the black Chompies were some kind of metal Chompy, and I thought they might have had some gameplay difference, but from what I can tell, there isn't any. Anyways, I feel like the setting and vibe of this heroic challenge fits Cinder, but funnily enough, it gets replaced in Skylanders Giants. 11. Mining is the key. Why the hell is this Igniter's challenge? I feel like an Earth Element Skylander should have had this and not him. If you don't know what this challenge is like, it's kinda like what I said for Bash, except it also involves keys. So it's just a little bit trickier than Bash's, but at least there's a lot of time. Honestly, this one does not fit Igniter that well. I feel like a better challenge for him would have been to hunt down Blade Witches, because that would actually tie into his backstory. 12.
Mission accomplished.
You kill a bunch of Chompies. This one's kinda hard because you don't have that much time, and you have to look for keys to get to the next area. Also, why is this one called Mission Accomplished? What does that even say about the challenge at all? 13. Pod Gauntlet. Despite this one belonging to one of my 2 favorite Skylanders, I hate this challenge. It's not even that hard, it's just irritating. Besides the setting, it doesn't really fit Chop Chop that much. You also get elemental power from this, which, in my opinion, doesn't make that much sense. I feel like Armor would fit better because he's the guy with the shield. There's some good news, though. Chop Chop inherits Cinder's heroic challenge, which, honestly, I could see it. I think it works for him pretty well. Oh yeah, and the Pod Gauntlet is just like tossed into the abyss, and it never came back in Giants. 14. Time's a-wastin'. This one's actually kinda cool. You have a very short amount of time to complete it, but the more enemies you kill, the more time you get. And you kinda just have to escape the labyrinth. I feel like Sonic Boom's abilities actually complement the gimmick of this challenge pretty well. In my opinion, it would make more sense if this challenge rewarded speed instead of critical hit, but this is one of the best heroic challenges in the game, so can't really complain much here. 15. Save the Purple Chompies. Probably the most infamous of all the heroic challenges. In this one, you have to kill a bunch of Chompies, but there's a catch. If you kill 2 Purple Chompies, you lose. Oh, and what character does this challenge come with? Drobot, of course! Probably the most powerful and reckless character in the entire game. I also failed the heroic challenge in my recording. It was both because I accidentally killed a Purple Chompy, and another one bit me, and I shook it off and that killed it. 16. Spawner Cave. Another one where you kill a bunch of Chompies. Next! 17. Arachnid Antechamber. Literally just prison breaks, but in a different area. What the hell does this have to do with Sunbird? 18. Hobson's Choice. This one's kind of like lightning rods, except it's in a completely new location. From now on, you're going to see a lot of heroic challenges that take place in Battlefield and Leviathan Lagoon. Battlefield is easily my favorite location for heroic challenges. 19. Isle of the Automatons. Gonna address this first, but Leviathan Lagoon. In this challenge, you mostly just have to kill a bunch of enemies, including this ugly magenta variant of the Mini Knights, and you also throw bombs at Archean Ultrons. I also think it's kind of neat seeing Eruptor in this aquatic area. 20. You break it, you buy it. Another challenge where you have to be very delicate with a character that has exploding attacks. So yeah, you lose if you hit the paintings, and you also lose time if you break the vases. And you're supposed to kill a bunch of trolls. Not sure what this has to do with Double Trouble, but whatever. 21. Minefield Mishap. In this one, you have to be delicate for a completely different reason. You have to walk through a minefield to get the Royal Scepter of Nort. This one, honestly, kind of fits Stealth Elf in my opinion, but holy crap, it's hard. This is the only heroic challenge where I actually died. 22. Lobzo Fun. Okay, just try to guess what Whirlwind's heroic challenge is. If you said, shooting squid pirates that are standing on high ledges with rainbows, that's correct. I'll give it this. At least the setting feels like it fits Whirlwind. 23. Spellpunked. Finally, I get to talk about my favorite. It's also kind of funny that this challenge is tied to my favorite Skylander besides Chop Chop. In this challenge, you have to kill every single type of Spellpunk. And it's really cool seeing enemies that match up with whatever Spellpunk variant it is. Also, most of the Spellpunks stand on a platform, which you don't even need to throw a bomb at them. You can just do Voodoo's primary attack combo and that can kill them. The Earth and Fire Spellpunks don't get to have platforms because they suck! What were the devs thinking when making their abilities? Like, they don't even work that well. Their abilities are less functional than my copy of Skylanders Swap Force for the Wii. 24. Charm Hunt. This one sucks. It's another charm collecting one. 25. Flip the Script. This is also another one of my favorite ones. It's very similar to Hex's, but it takes place in Battlefield instead. Also, you get the Log of Nort. Oh yeah, one question. What the hell is the Log of Nort? 26. You've stolen my hearts. Oh boy, another charm collecting one. At least it gets replaced in Giants. For some reason. Unlike Chop Chops, I don't know why it got replaced. 27. Bombs to the walls. Oh boy, this one. This is another one of those charm collecting challenges. This one stands out because it sounds like Flameslinger is shitting himself every single time he picks up a charm. Why did they use the sound effect? It makes no sense! Fun fact, every Fire Skylanders heroic challenge is set in a different location. I don't know, that's something weird I noticed. 28. Operation Sheep Freedom. You save sheep. There are similar heroic challenges in Giants that kinda do this one's idea. 29. Jailbreak. Probably one of the most fitting heroic challenges in the game. It pretty much has the same objective as Oil Spill Island. So you just have to free all the prisoners. Although they're Mabu instead of Gilman this time. I personally think it would be better if it was the Gilman because it would be super perfect for Gilgrun's challenge. 30. Environmentally unfriendly trolls. Just like Gilgrun's challenge, this one's also very fitting. You have a tech element character break a bunch of pipes. Also, this one's like really easy. You straight up spawn right next to one.
3, 2, 1. Pipe destroyed.
31. Chemical Cleanup. This is probably the most painful to look at heroic challenge, at least on the X-Spec version. I've seen a video on the Wii version, and it definitely does not hurt my eyes as much as the X-Spec version. So you have to break a shit ton of barrels, and all the barrels have different colors. But in the X-Spec version, they flash entire solid colors. These barrels are apparently, like, irradiated, and that's why they're doing this. No idea why Slam Bam has this of all challenges. They should have saved this one for Pop Fizz. It would make way more sense for him. And finally, a contender for the worst heroic challenge of all time, 32. Break the Cats. Okay, let's look at Zap first. I assume most of you probably picked the path for Zap that makes his lightning bounce off of objects and walls. Which, I don't blame you. I did that, and I personally think it's the better of his two paths. But holy shit, it is so counterintuitive for his heroic challenge. You have to break these cat statues and not hit any of the vases. If you accidentally hit the vases, you lose time. The vases are everywhere! But hey, it could have been worse. Could have been Molten Mine or Cadaverous Crypt, because those places have walls. I despise this challenge. I don't think I've ever beaten it because Zap was one of the last few Skylanders from Spyro's Adventure I got, and also I barely did heroic challenges anyways. Besides that, screw this challenge. Would have been better for a Skylander with melee attacks like Terrafin. So that was every Skylanders Spyro's Adventure heroic challenge. If this video does well, I'll make a sequel to this video about all the new challenges and giants. My next video is going to be a big video about funny movies. It's going to be a huge collaboration. But besides that, like, subscribe, please leave a comment. You could probably talk about who your favorite Skylander is or what your favorite heroic challenge from this game was. Thanks for watching.